Random Ramblings with Rob. Random Ramblings with Rob. Wanna talk shit? Just call in. It's Random Ramblings with Rob.
What up, everybody? Your boy B Rob here, back with another edition of the Random Ramblings with Rob podcast. And yeah, I'm here. It's late. I understand, but you never know that if you're a first-time listener, which I thank you oh so much for coming and giving my show a try. And, you know, just the regular ragtag of listeners that come in every week or however so often that you come listen to the podcast. I appreciate you oh so much. And thank you for giving my show a try. But, yeah, here we are on we knocking on the door of 2021. And I ain't really got nothing lined up until into next year. Because to be honest with you, and I'm going to open up and share with you a little more for the anniversary show. Because I think that's where I need to save all my grievances and, you know, get a lot of things off my chest for the 5-year anniversary show, which will be January 13th. So there might be 2 episodes that week. Or depending on how things go between now and then, it might just be 1 episode that week, which will be the 5th anniversary one. But I wanted to go ahead and throw this together. I ain't really have nothing lined up. You know, I've just been slacking lately. And as I said once before, I'll cover more or less of that here in the anniversary edition. But I got an episode that I was invited to do with my homeboy Bryan from the Bry-fy podcast. So that's what I'm going to be playing for you here today. I ain't really got too much going on. I do have a story about my eBay experience. I sold some of my first items on there over this holiday season, and I'm finally done with it. I said on the last episode, I believe, that I was going to kind of let you in on the whole story arc that unveiled and everything after I got past it and everything was good to go. But so I'll probably have that for you on the anniversary show as well. Give you something to anticipate, to look forward to. Or if not, if I get bored and bogged down and shit, I'll probably just do it the next episode. But yeah, he invited me on the show. He needed a guest, and I am much obliged for people that have me on this show. You know, if you need a guest, I'm here for you. I am the random one. I am the one who does all the things and stuff. So if you in a pinch and you need a guest or you just want to bullshit with somebody, I'll come on over, baby. But enough of my incoherent rambling. I'm just holding up the tradition of bringing you an episode once weekly. Haven't broke it and going on 5 years on the 13th of January. So I'm taking that seriously. I'm taking it to heart. And yeah, I just came back from Louisiana. I just visited my mom and dad after many, many months of, and my oldest child. My oldest child lived down there too. So I haven't seen them in so many months because of what's going on, the current state of the world and everything. And just some other medical issues that we've discovered in my wife's life and everything. So, you know, that's why we haven't been going around and going visiting too many new people in or out of our circle and whatnot. And even when I went home to visit my mom and dad, I know they don't really go anywhere. They just kind of stay up in the house. And then, you know, my daughter's staying there right now, going back and forth to work. But when new people were coming to the house that didn't live there, man, I was kind of on edge and shit. You know, they would just come up to the house and I'm like, hey, man, you want to just talk outside? I ain't want to bring nobody in the house, especially, you know, with me and the other kids there and everything. And I was just like, I don't know, I just felt real weird and nervous because if anything, with my wife's medical conditions and shit, I didn't want to bring nothing home extra, you know. I ain't talking about dirty sex diseases, but well, you get what I'm saying. You feeling what I'm putting down. But it was great to see them. You know, they're doing all right. Kicking around in there, 78 years old and 88 years old. That's fucking crazy, right? Still hooking and jabbing. But nonetheless, here's the episode that I done on the Bry-fy podcast. I'm pretty sure I got his permission. I didn't ask and I replay it on my show, but I'm on it, so I own half of it, I guess. But there's some video for it as well. I believe it's on my YouTube page. I think I copied down because we did it on Instagram Live. We did the whole thing and everything, and I think I just copied it down and put it on the 3R Show YouTube. So you can hear it here and you can see it visually. We even incorporated the chat into the video as well, so you can see the live chat as we was having our conversation and whatnot. Shout outs to Random Randy Savage, one half of the Cult 45 podcast, one of my favorite podcasts, for being in on that conversation in the chat, and all the other people that stopped by. But I ain't got too much else and nothing to say. If you're here and, you know, returning, I appreciate you for coming back for whatever reason. And if you're new, you kind of picked a weird time. The holiday season doesn't yield a lot of content for the most part, unless you're doing holiday themed shit, which I do not do. But in any case, I appreciate you for lending me your ears for a couple moments. But you can find me on the interwebs in various locations, to include Twitter at 3R Show, Instagram at the 3R Show, and YouTube, which I mentioned. Just search for 3R Show, and on twitch.tv/3R Show. And for anything that I may have forgotten to mention, you can find it all on randomrob.com. Just go to my website and you can find many different ways to help support the show, which I'm thinking about redoing my website, randomrob.com. And then I also have to add some of the most recent guests to my guest page. So go to randomrob.com/guest, and you can see every single guest, except for the most recent ones because I haven't put them yet. Every single guest that's been on the podcast, past, present, future, when I put the future ones and current ones. But it's all there. You can click on their face and it'll give you a list of their episodes and everything. So check it out. And there's merch and all kinds of other malarkey and shenanigans. And you can check out the sponsor as well, Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. Go to hooksrubsandspices.com. And you can also buy the product from the website by going to hooksrubsandspices.etsy.com. If you go to hooksrubsandspices.com, I believe it'll take you to the other portal to actually buy the product. But you can get 15% off your order if you use promo code RANDOM. Also, you can use the promo code RANDOM on manscaped.com, and you can get 20% off your order plus free shipping. And you can go to bluechew.com and use promo code RANDOM, and you can get your first shipment free. Only pay $5 shipping. So that's all I got. But if you really want to help support this podcast and any other podcast that you listen to, pretty please leave those reviews, like, subscribe, retweet, interact with the show. It doesn't cost you a dime, and it helps our analytics, and it gets those corporate sponsorships and whatnot, and we actually get to make money, and that's kind of cool. Don't have to spend your money. We spend that corporate money. Work together. Make things do what it do, baby. But anyway, enjoy this episode of the Bry-fy podcast featuring me, Rob, from the Random Rounds with Rob.
And I don't know, it's gotten ridiculous is what it is. It's a bunch of pettiness. Don't get me wrong. I love good old pettiness, but look, COVID's been going on for a long time. I'm tired of it.
Hell yeah. And my wife walking around here, she got like asthma and allergies and shit and everything. And this is like, what is this? What's going on?
Right. I want to see, like, my wife, Casey, she's got asthma too, so we have to be very careful. And then my mother-in-law, she's immune deficient, so got to be even more careful. So, like, I get serious about this shit. People have been laughing at me since, like, April, but, man, I ain't trying to be death, okay?
Yeah.
Trying to be the savior that is.
Yeah, I ain't trying to wake up dead.
Right. Man, don't even get me started on that, man. That's like my favorite part of that Scary Movie 3. No, dog, he woke up dead.
Well, how the hell you wake up dead?
Well, you go to bed alive. No.
You ain't alive no more.
God, man. Anyway, so had them on. Then I had two guests. I had Jordan. Jordan was last week. The week before was Jeff, talking about their books, respectively. Good guys. Had a lot of fun. Jordan was Canadian, which was really nice.
I love
Or was it
Canadian.
Jeff? Can't remember. See, this is why I should stop having guests with similar names, because then I can't remember shit about them.
You just got my name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff. My name is Jordy. One of them was Canadian and very awesome because I fucked up his name, and he was so kind about it. So I was like, yes, thank God, Canadians.
You're probably used to it.
Probably. Oh, yeah. And then we got on to talk about me being from Texas and how much of a relief it was that I wasn't Republican. That was fun. That episode got political real quick.
Oh, boy.
But it was all good things because, we both hate racism and abuse of cops. So it works. And that leads us to you, B.
Oh.
Now you're joining us this week. This is my off week, man. So since we got you here, dude, Nah, man. Tell the people a little bit about you.
I'm drinking Jamaican rum straight from Jamaica, and it's like a diesely gas tinge to it or whatever. I had to drown it with white peach mix and pineapple juice, because it was attacking my esophagus, and I was just like, ah! I felt like I was going to take off like a jet and shit. But I host a podcast. I've been doing it for over 4 years now. It is called The Random Ramsey with Rob. You can see that on my wall back there. I got it up. Since I moved to Texas, I had to do a Texas themed their logo, reminiscent of your Houston Astros over here.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, but I mean, I've had random guests on the show. I mean, anybody from adult film stars, which everybody who's above the age of 18 is an adult, and if they do movies, they are film stars. So, I mean, you can take that how you want to take it. And, yeah, I mean, video gamers, streamers, YouTubers, authors, professional wrestlers, just you name it, I have them on the show, and we just get down with the shenanigans.
Shenanigans, the podcast.
Yes. That's shit. That could have been an alternate name. I might have to go with that.
No, that's my ultimate podcast now.
Oh, very well.
It's on my Instagram. Trademark. Belongs to me now. That's how that works, right?
Yeah. That's how it works.
Got to just Beetlejuice it just like that, man, with trademarks.
Have you ever tried to file a trademark on something before?
No, because it seems like too much work, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. It is, because you not only do you have to file a trademark, you have to file a trademark for everything that it falls under, for every category that thing falls for. So, like, all right, 3R Show or Random Rambles with Rob, if I want to file a trademark for any one of those things. If it's a fashion line, I have to file a trademark for that. If it's entertainment, whatever, I have to file a trademark for that. And if it's, anything outside of the realm of those two things, I have to file a separate trademark for that. So for every category that your product, your brand hits, you have to file a separate trademark for that thing.
That just sounds like a waste, man.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. So if it's just entertainment based, and I know they got subcategories for each rung of entertainment. They got like music and media and all kind of other shit. So you got to hit every one of those wickets under entertainment and whatnot. Or, somebody else can use 3R Show for something in the like, but not exactly the same thing. It's fucking crazy.
Well, I'm going to make a line of sex toys now with a 3R Show on them.
Very well.
And profit. Yeah.
I mean, if you can make anything off of it, you have my blessing. You've heard it here. It's live streamed. I'm recording it for dexterity. So
I feel like you just opened up a really, really dangerous thing.
Man, I just
surprise, motherfucker.
I only have one request: make a butt plug that anytime you smack the ass cheek, it say surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, mother. You can put my logo on it. That's fine. You guys have my permission.
But, and we didn't say trademark 3 times, so it don't count.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. I get no money now. Anyway, man, so I don't know. Let's talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've missed in the news for the last 3 weeks. And if you want to.
What you missed in the nudes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That and the news. Both of them. And so if you got anything to say, man, concerning any of this stuff, let me know. We'll discuss. We'll convene. We'll
very well
ramble. So on that.
I do.
All right, guys. So up first in the nifty nerd news, this was back in June. Robert Kirkman announced that his Invincible animated series was 1, getting a release date, and 2, having visuals very soon. Back in June. So, we're kind of still waiting to hear back on that. Everything that I've looked on, no idea what's going on with that. The only thing that I do know is J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh, and Mark Hamill are all tied to voice characters for the show. And if you haven't heard of Invincible, it's one of his most famous comic books where a child named Mark, well, I say child, he's a teenager in high school. He's the son of a superhero. Mm-hmm. As the story progresses, you find out, his dad's actually an alien. He's actually not a superhero. He's here to take over Earth. And, he expects me to help him. That's not going to fly. But things get pretty intense and crazy. I mean, it's over, I think it's 150 issues, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just balls to the wall crazy. It's not your dad's version of Superman. It's bloody. It's gory. And it's definitely a mature rated book, and it's getting an animated series, which I think is kind of cool.
Word. It kind of puts me in the mindset of a show that my wife is currently watching called The Family Business or whatever. And everybody is involved in this drug trade or whatever, down to the youngest sibling in the family, which is like a private schooler and shit in high school or middle school or some shit. And he's in on the take or whatever. His IQ is like 100 and some odd shit, and he's just like doing analytics for him and everything, and just helping to move the drugs and whatnot. It's like crazy.
Baby Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Breaking Bad kids.
Breaking Pampers. There you go.
Did they do that? Like Tiny Toons, Looney Tunes as babies. We could do that with Breaking Bad.
Dude, that's what I thought. But Tiny Toons is its own separate entity or whatever. Because they got younger characters in there, but it's not exactly the same. They got what is Babs and what's the boy funny name? I forget.
Oh, you talking about Bugs?
Yeah, I don't think that's Young Bugs Bunny, is it?
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be them as young versions of themselves, I think.
I don't know, man. I hadn't seen it in a long time. But
I was going to say, it's been a long-ass time.
Yeah, but I remember it was a good cartoon. Buster, see? Buster and Babs.
There you go, Buster. See,
that's why we got Randy in the clutch.
That's our info guy.
What I love about they were getting trained. They were the underlings of all the other guys because they was at like a university type deal.
Yeah, you just blew my mind, man.
Yeah, the Taz and the Bugs Bunny and all them, they were like they're professors and all that shit. But what I loved about that series, it spawned a video game. I forget for what console. It was Tiny Toon Adventures. And
it was Super Nintendo because I had it.
It had all kind of mini games and shit. You could bowl and do all kind of other crazy shit like that. I love that shit so much.
Dude, I suck so bad at that game, but I loved playing it over and over again, man.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Speaking of animated series, a video game coming out soon called Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Of course.
It sounds badass. It has Keanu Reeves, so I'm sold. Well, they're getting an anime. What? Fucking knew, right? Coming out 2022, which is probably around when the Invincible footage will come out, based on how things are going. And they're getting a 10-episode series It's going to be done by Studio Trigger, who's famous for doing shows like Kill la Kill, Darling in the Franxx, and also this new show I've been watching on Netflix called B&A. It's, I don't know, it's like, or NBA. I can't remember what it's like. It's like Beastmen. It's people who are part animal, part human. It's crazy, but that's what Studio Trigger is known for.
It's Animorph.
Kind of. It's more like Zootopia, but for adults.
Okay. So you're saying a whole bunch of people in animal suits, they're furries and shit.
Yeah, very much so, man. But not as crazy. There's another one, now that I'm talking about this, there's another one on Netflix called Beastars. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
But it's like animal people, but, you know, they're, you know, more humanoid in a way, but they're animals. And it's basically like Zootopia meets Twilight, but better.
So when they come out in the sun, they sparkly and shit?
It's way better than that. Like, if they just put Twilight for the title of this show, I would much rather watch this, if I'm being honest.
And I'll be honest with you as well. You know, I'll put that out to the atmosphere or whatever, because I'm that random type of person. I thoroughly enjoyed the Twilight movie series.
No. just no.
I did, man. It, like, my wife turned me on to it or whatever. And then 50 Shades of Grey came out, which was a fan fiction of the Twilight series and whatnot. And, you know, what's crazy about it is, you know, I actually read the first and second book. There's 3 books in the series of 50 Shades of Grey. And it wasn't that bad. It's not that bad. The movies suck as comparison to the books, you know, and that's to be said the same for a whole bunch of shit. But I thoroughly enjoyed the books. And then I don't even read a lot of shit. I don't read comic books. I don't read a lot of nothing. But I fuck around and read that just because, you know, everybody was talking about it, and I enjoyed Twilight. So I heard it was a fan fiction of Twilight, so I had to read and see the similarities and everything, and I wind up enjoying it. I haven't finished the 3rd book, and I have not seen the 2nd and 3rd movie. So once I complete that 3rd book, I'll go back and watch the other 2 movies and everything.
Yeah.
But the movies were at some points verbatim of the book, like as far as lines go. And I was like, dude, I read these exact same words on paper. And they're saying it exactly the same word per word in the goddamn movie. And I was like, what the fuck?
Even Randy's talking about how he's listened to, what the hell, man? Like, I don't know. Like, so 50 Shades never caught me. Like, nothing. Like, I never had any interest in it. I did like the Twilight books, though. I will say that. Like, I read the books, and I actually liked those. The movies didn't really do it for me.
I have every single Twilight book that was published. I mean, it as far as to my knowledge, you know, I got all the books and the Insignificant Life of, you know, it was a side character.
Yeah, that little girl, yeah.
I got all the books because my wife loves to read and she writes as well. So I got the books for her, and they just sat on the shelf and never been read and whatnot. I'm teetering on maybe reading them myself or whatever, because I do enjoy the movies franchise. But I look at them books and they're kind of thick, you know, like my wife's legs and shit. And, you know, it's not enticing me in that way. So
it's nah. There's another series now. Now I'm talking about vampire. Look, what have you done to my show, man? My wife reads this other one called the House of Night series. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's basically like Twilight on steroids. There's like vampires, werewolves, Randy off the rails, and it gets very political. It's very like, it's more than just like a secret society of vampires. It's like vampires are a legit thing, and they're a part of our world. And I've teetered on wanting to read it, but I've never made the jump to do it. It's a lot of books.
I'll come back to that, but like in the vein of vampires and everything, have you read Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
No, I need to. I've seen the movie, but I want to read the book.
Movie. What do you think of the movie?
It was okay. It
Mm.
was fun, mindless fun. But I was just like,
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. But the book, when you read the book, is like um, it's his actual history sprinkled with vampires and shit. It talked about his kids and everything, and just like through unforeseen circumstances with dealings with vampires, they would die. Or his mother, how his mother died, it was through some shit, dealing with a vampire. Or his whole presidency and how he became a candidate and all the other stuff is like true facts from history sprinkled with vampires and shit. It was pretty good. I enjoyed the book. The movie adaptation, they changed a lot of stuff. Is homeboy Mackie or whatever, Falcon, or whatever. Yeah. He wasn't a black guy in the book.
That's crazy.
And then there was a whole bunch of other things and everything that they changed, which they normally do for book adaptations to movies or whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as visually and graphically, I thought the movie was pretty good. Yeah. But reading the whole book, page to page, end to end or whatever, it's just like they left out a lot of things and they changed a lot of things.
Right.
And, I still enjoyed it, but I like the book a lot.
Totally. That reminds me, I remember one of the movies to books that I remember watching the movie first and then reading the book where they did that. They changed the character. And I thought it was just outrageous was when I watched The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Okay.
And Arthur's friend, Ford Prefect, played by Mos Def in the movie.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. I love him. And then in the book, he's like this ginger white dude. And I was like, what? Why?
Now, I've never read the book, but I've heard so much about the book. And then to see that movie, without even reading the book, I thought it was a pretty decent movie because it's random as fuck,
Oh, hell yeah, dude. And the books are just, to me, the books are way funnier because there's way more jokes in them. Yeah. But, I mean, it's random like that through the whole thing, dude. Just silly shit happens through the whole story. And it's so much fun. I still don't think the movie does it justice, but it's a good movie. I still watch it from, at least 3 to 4 times a year.
Now, back to what you was talking about, the Twilight series on steroids or whatever. Give me a little more on that.
Do what?
That movie that you was talking about, or series that you was talking about, the
House of Night stuff.
Huh?
I think I was talking about the House of Night books. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Man, I can't even tell you much about it other than it's like Twilight on steroids, dude, because I just haven't read it. My wife loves it, though. We have, every book, and it's, 10 or more books. It's ridiculous how many books there are in this series.
And then, you talk about that, and they have Night in the title. I had a guest on my show. He was from Seattle, and he did I guess his own version of a pilgrimage to Alaska, and he camped out in his vehicle the whole time, and he wound up, eventually making a business out of that. He made custom wood bed frames for vehicles and stuff, so you can make it customized to a truck bed or a van or whatever you have configured or whatever. You can make one customized for that. So when people, like to do stuff like that in the outdoors and they want to camp in their vehicle, they have a bed and they just throw a mattress or some kind of covering on top. But he said he went out to Alaska just to be out in nature by his fucking self in his fucking van. And I'm just like, motherfucker, have you not seen 30 Days of Night? Just be out there and it's just dark for 6 months at a time and shit.
Right. Dude, man, you just reminded me of something. So I have this problem where I get into different things hardcore for a little bit, and you just reminded me, for a time I was into urban camping. It's where people deck out their cars, SUVs and stuff to where they live in them, sleep in them and shit like that. And how people will go out, buy those the big transport vans and shit, and like gut them out, put like beds, cooking stoves, and all kinds of shit in them, man. And I'm like, I could do this. Like we don't need a house. I could just, renovate this van.
Dude, if I had the wife that had that wild, adventurous, in her skin or something or whatever, it's just like I would totally do that once the kids move out the house. But I don't think we would survive that way. My wife, she got a lot of comforts here and whatnot that she's used to, and I don't think us palling around in a van and whatnot is going to do it for us.
No, it definitely would. Dude, even for me, like I say that, but then I think about like all the things I enjoy at my house.
Yeah, I mean, we go back to, masking up and everything, what's going on in the world around us.
Oh, yeah.
And people are mad because motherfuckers is telling them to stay home to be safe. I understand that they're not making, some people aren't making money. They're not able to work and, provide for their family. I get that. But the motherfuckers that are okay and they just like out here mad and pissed off because they can't go out and get a haircut or go sit in a restaurant and eat yams or whatever the fuck it is they want to eat and shit. And it baffles me because everything I love, especially right now, is in my goddamn house.
Right?
So, I mean, you telling me to stay home, I'm like, yes, please, thank you. Can I have more?
More, please. It's like when I was a kid, man, and freaking getting grounded and sent to my room. Like, that was the best place you could have sent me.
Yeah, I was like, that's where all my things are. Thank you very much.
I was going there anyway, Dad. No.
Well, see, that's the difference between that thing. Because, like, now I know the tricks and trades and the tools of the game and whatnot. My parents did that to me. Go to your room, you're grounded. I was like, okay, my Xbox, not my Xbox at the time, but my Nintendo, my Super Nintendo, PlayStation, and all this shit was in there. So fine, I'll go to my room all goddamn day. But, now with my kids or whatever, yeah, go to your fucking room. But bring me them goddamn controllers.
Dang, man.
Oh, yeah, you gonna suffer, motherfucker.
That's hardcore, man. That's like third world country shit right there.
So I got a console and that make them think. They got a TV in their room, they got a console, but they ain't got no controllers to play that motherfucker. So yeah,
that's the worst, man. Anyway, let's move on to some more nifty nerd news. Man, I don't even remember what we were talking about movies and shit, but
it's some shit. I don't know.
Right. Okay. Well, no, we're talking about anime because Cyberpunk 2077 was getting an anime.
Look who joined.
Oh, dang. Look at that. I'm going to wave to him real quick. Say hi.
Man, we was just talking about your ass, bro.
See, look, Randy's there to keep me honest, man. He said we were talking about anime. And so...
it's another quirk of mine as well. Anytime somebody say anime, I think about Ike Turner and Tina Turner. You'd be like, eat the cake, anime. That's the quirk I have.
Dude, I love it, though. Anyway, so...
It wasn't bad. I'm talking to the out of the blank dude. It wasn't bad when we was talking about you. We were just saying that we've been podcasting for like 4 and 5 years, and we just reaching like 300 and 200 some episodes and shit. And here you is less than a year or a little bit over a year, and you have 400 and goddamn 67 something episodes and shit. I was like, goddamn, I wish I can get a cyclic rate of guests like that and shit.
I can't. I got a good home life, so, I don't have time for that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out what you do with your free time, or do you have free time at all? But anyway. Cake.
So sticking with the anime news, Kyoto Animation, who, if you're not familiar with them, about a year ago, they were actually in the news because they had an arson attack. Dude came up to their studio, lit it on fire, killing 36 people and injuring 33 others. It was a crazy act of terrorism that it happened over in Japan. It was nuts, dude. one of the saddest things that ever happened in anime. But things are looking good for them now. They just announced on July 1st they're actually accepting applications to get started again, looking for more people to fill up their studios. They were going to start earlier this year, but then fucking COVID happened, so that kind of
Oh man,
sucked.
bad
Uh,
timing, bro.
yeah, but it's good. To me, it was something I wanted to bring up. It was a story I talked about when it happened, the arson attack. It was devastating, dude. They were working on some of my favorite anime. In fact, other anime at the time changed like how they presented their show because to pay respect to Kyoto Animation. It was just crazy. Like it's horrible to think that someone would do something like that, just set fire to a building to try to kill people. You know, that's crazy shit.
Yeah. And then it's not so much, killing people or whatever. It's just the media and artwork associated with that company is just literally up in smoke.
Yeah, dude. And like it makes no sense. Like why anime? Like why are you so mad at anime? Like it's not some crazy political piece. It's not like, South Park. It's not like Rick and Morty where they're taking, like making fun of political agendas and stuff like that. It's just anime. Like, I don't know, man. It was just crazy to me seeing that shit.
This is fucking weird world we live in general. So
Yeah. So, anyway, let's try to bring some positivity back. Spider-Verse, the video game, not just now, it happened a while ago, and our Spider-Man video game announced the second version is going to have Miles Morales in it
oh
and
man,
feature him as a character.
I'm digging that. And it was kind of you figured that was going to happen anyway because how integral of a part he was, in the latest Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
And even at the end, once you beat the thing, he has like a little, end credit scene within the game and whatnot. Spider-Man training, Peter Parker training Miles Morales and whatnot. And they have their dialogue and whatnot. I'm actually playing through on in-game plus right now. I'm gonna try to go back through. I already beat the game 100%, and now I'm going back with in-game plus. For those of you who don't play games so much, there's a thing called in-game plus. Spider-Man, this game, or even the Batman Arkham Knight series. You can go through these games and you can get different skills and gadgets and attachments and everything. And when you go back and you play in-game plus, you don't have to start over building your items and everything. You can keep those fully maxed out and go back through the game with everything. And it's fucking amazing.
Does it change the difficulty, or is it still like playing level 1?
No, the game remains the same.
So now it's like cheat mode, basically, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a hassle because I noticed the difference between the Batman series and this new Spider-Man game, because they're very similar. I believe it's the same people or the same company might have made the shit. They ate a lot of shit for the Batman games.
Yeah.
But in the Batman games, when you go through and you get like these side quests, the Riddler trophies, you got to find all these Riddler trophies. Once you beat the game and you go and do in-game plus, you don't have to find the Riddler trophies anymore.
Ooh.
But the Spider-Man series, they had this thing for backpacks and everything like that. So you had to find, different backpacks that Spider-Man stashed throughout the series, the game and everything. And you have to take photos of certain landmarks and monuments within the game. But you beat this game 100%. You do all this shit, and you go back in in-game plus. You still got to do that shit again. I'm like,
I already went through this shit, man. Come on.
And speaking of anime, I know that's the topic that we're on and whatnot. Have you seen a series on Netflix called Baki?
Baki. I've seen it, but I haven't watched it yet.
All right, I watched the first season or the first series of episodes that they put out, and they just released their second series of episodes and whatnot. And it's a good show. It's about a young man by the name of Baki. I believe he's in high school or something like that. He's a young man. He is the son of the greatest fighter in the world. and there's a slew of other characters and individuals within the series that are like alpha, omega, fucking level martial artists and shit, and they're just going around the world looking for their final death. Pretty much, they've beaten everything. They've mastered every level of martial arts that you can imagine. They have this immense power, but they can't find anybody that's their match, their equal, someone that can whip their ass. And they figure, since they can't get to Baki's father, who is the best ever, they're going to go after Baki, you know. So it's just a whole bunch of motherfuckers fighting, and it's just like graphic as fuck. And speaking of I can't even, what's the word? Graphicity? That's not a word.
Graphicity.
Oh, yeah.
New word. Trademark.
Damn, you got it before me. But they had an anime sex scene in this bitch, and this dude was doing martial arts while he was fucking. He was summoning his chakra and all kind of shit, and just giving her back shots and gut shots and shit while they fucking. It was just fucking crazy.
I mean, it honestly sounds like every anime that I've watched. So,
I don't.
Food Wars.
Well, I don't watch many, so it was a shock to me.
Oh man, watch what I just mentioned, Food Wars, and you're gonna need new pants. Trust me.
Oh,
you're looking it up right now. It's
actually,
some crazy shit, dude. It's funny though. It's either gonna make you really hungry or really thirsty, if you know what I mean.
Or if they wanted to make it a little more edgy, they could put food whores.
That's probably the hentai version. Now that I think about it, like
Yeah.
it probably exists.
Then you throw tentacles on top of that.
Oh no more. Please.
Oh, dude. You know, local Houston podcast, Rebel Radio and whatnot. I was on their show. We did a movie review for Saving Private Ryan. And we got on the topic of hentai, discussing that type of movie. And I was telling them about one that I seen a long time ago. And it had Sailor Moon characters in it. It had Dragon Ball Z characters in it. It had Gundams fucking each other.
Oh, God.
I think Tuxedo Mask was watching everything on CCTV, masturbating and shit. Goddamn Goku and Krillin gangbang, Sailor Moon in the elevator, and a Dragon Ball jumped up over and she grew a penis and fucked another Sailor Moon character. It was fucking crazy.
Sounds about right.
But I have a link to it if you want to see it.
Let's put it in my DMs.
Yeah.
So there's no good way to segue into my next news story.
Just do it.
Yeah. So, hey, remember the Magic School Bus?
Yes, the live-action movie, right?
Yeah. So Elizabeth Banks is going to be Miss Frizzle on it, which I kind of like that. I'm so in for this.
I don't know, man. I don't remember so much of the Magic School Bus outside of that GIF video or whatever, where it's like, "What is that?" And you're like, "That's a butthole."
Stupid, man. Like, I grew up on the Magic School Bus. Like, that was my jam. Watching that, like, they would go like do the human body. They would do space, dinosaurs, all kinds of crazy shit, man. And like the fact that they're doing, like, I don't know, like, I want to be really excited for this because I really loved the cartoon as a kid. But then I've seen what they've done to Dora the Explorer. I've seen what they've done to, like, Jumanji remake. I've seen what they've done to so many of my childhood things.
You know, you speak of Jumanji. I don't think that was a bad set of movies, the new ones.
No, they weren't bad.
But this is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. We're about to get into freaking what it is, Cult 45 mode right now, nitpick some shit.
All right.
So, all right, here we go. You've seen both of the new movies?
Yes.
Or at least the first one. Anyway, so, all right, you mean to tell me that, I forget his name, the Robin Williams' character, Alan Parsons or whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah.
You mean to tell that motherfucker got trapped in the jungle for 25 fucking years. 25 years. And then flash forward to the new set of movies to where they tried to tie him into the franchise or whatever, to where the guy that got sucked into the game cartridge at the beginning of the movie, the one that was the pilot, he was living in Alan Parsons' fucking jungle bungalow. So you mean to tell me that Alan Parsons, or Parrish, there you go, thank you, Randy, was sitting in the jungle for 25 fucking years, made a bungalow, and did not notice the secret door that looks like an outhouse fucking 25 or less feet away from his goddamn bungalow, to where he could have went to a bazaar and bartered for bread and fucking food and all kind of other bullshit, and just, you're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
Look, man, that was before they created the electronic version of Jumanji.
Yeah, you know, and that's because when I watch movies, I turn my brain off and I don't think about these things. But since I started the Code 45 podcast, you motherfuckers started making me question everything. You're ruining my childhood and my fantasies and shit.
See, Randy, the game has the ability to change. What it was DLC, is what it was.
You're right. It was made by EA, right?
Pay to win, man.
EA Sports. Pay to play the game.
You pay to win. Well, the last bit of news that I have written down here, man, is have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con?
I've been to San Diego, but I have not been to San Diego Comic-Con. It's on my bucket list.
Well, I know 2020 has been a shit year for most of us, but guess what? Yeah. We all get to go to San Diego Comic-Con totally free this year. Everyone.
What? How are they doing it? Tell me. Clue me in.
It's virtually online. You just stay home. Which,
I mean, it'll work because, I mean, the only thing you're taking out of the equation right now is the human aspect, to where you can walk around and, you know, rub elbows with your fellow comic book nerd and everything like that. You can smell the motherfuckers that don't put on deodorant and shit, and they camp out at the con for days and everything. I mean, you're taking that away from it. But usually when you go to these Comic-Cons, like in San Diego and all kind of stuff, yeah, the cool-ass cosplay from the women and whatnot, you're missing out, you know, you get to get a whiff of that in person. But usually when they go to these San Diego Comic-Cons or whatever, it's movie premieres, show premieres, and everything like that. You could do all that online.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think, honestly, when I think about it, I would argue, you know, Marvel, all these big studios are switching to their own events anyway, you know? I mean...
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's not even just for that genre of things anyway. It's just everything in general, because you cutting out the middleman when you can do shit for yourself. So that's why we got 30,000 goddamn streaming services. We got HBO Max, we got damn Hulu, Netflix, which is the OG. We got goddamn Stars, HBO, freaking, I got a cable service called Fabo, or Fubu, not the motherfucker from 34L, fucking Fabo.
You mean like the shoes I used to wear, Fubu?
Yeah, you for us, fuck you, and shit. But that was the thing. You cut cable because cable is too fucking high. Now you got all these streaming services, which you get them all, and they equal more than your fucking cable was. What the fuck?
Dude, have you seen the price for YouTube TV?
High as fuck.
Yeah, it's like $60-something for YouTube TV now.
Yeah, high as fuck.
Yeah, dude, it's ridiculous, man.
Because the Fubu or Fobo or whatever the fuck shit that we got here, because I don't need cable personally. Everything that I enjoy, that I watch, is via Hulu, Netflix, YouTube, and it's not a lot of things. I mean, all those are bundled up in a small, tight package, which is less than what we were ever paying for cable and internet. But my wife has these niche channels and all this other neck for that extra shit. I don't pay for that fucking shit. So she paid $50 a month for an internet streaming service called Fubu or Fabo or Fubo. That's what it is. I can't pronounce the shit. So she get all the channels and everything that she want, minus a few because it's digital and there's certain restrictions and shit. But I don't need it. I don't fucking need it. I don't care. But she paid that money for that shit. I don't.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, Instagram is telling me we're running out of time now. Got about a minute and 50 seconds.
Don't make us go, Instagram. Don't make us go.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So
have status and we independent and shit.
That's how it is, man. I don't got that blue check mark.
Start hurting. It's time to put the hat back on.
But man,
put the hat back on.
Yeah, get your mask on. You gotta get safe again, man. But I want to tell you, thank you. Thanks for coming on the show, dude. Hopefully we helped you as much as you helped me today.
Very well. I appreciate that.
And then, but that's it, dude. I want to thank everyone for joining us on the Bry-fy podcast this week. Just chilling, hanging out, relaxing, talking about some news, bringing it back old school, bringing it back original OG Bry-fy.
Yeah, we talked about nudes somewhere up in there.
Oh, somewhere up in there. But next week, guys, we have more interviews coming your way, at least for the next 2 weeks. So just sit back, relax. Eventually, we're going to get back to Thor. I promise you we're going to get back to Thor and finish out her story and then his story because, comics are weird. But that's pretty much it, man. So thanks, Rob.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate the opportunity. I had to chat with you a little bit. I didn't think about it until we was already into the works of things.